Last Friday, a New South Wales police officer was charged with the murder of Sydney couple Jessie Baird and Luke Davies. Although they have charged police officer Beau Lamarre-Condon, who was the former partner of Baird, police have said he is not cooperating in the search for the bodies. In today's deep dive, we'll talk through what we know has happened, how the community is responding, and all the things that the police are still trying to piece together.
So Zara, the search for the bodies of Jessie Baird and Luke Davies is still underway, and this case really developed quite quickly in a couple of days. Can you take me back to last week when we first heard about it all?
Yeah, so I'll first just go through how this unfolded in the media. So it was Thursday afternoon when we first heard about the case. New South Wales Police announced that they were investigating the suspicious disappearance of a couple, both in their 20s, ex-Channel 10 presenter Jessie Baird, who was 26, and flight attendant Luke Davies, who was 29. The couple hadn't been seen since that Monday, so police were appealing for public information 3 days after they had definitely last been seen. I'll paint a picture of what police told us at that time, so last Thursday. They said that last Wednesday morning, some of the couple's possessions were found in a skip bin in Cronulla. By Wednesday afternoon, police had gone to Baird's home in Paddington and immediately established a crime scene. On Thursday, police executed a search warrant at a home in Balmain, and that was in relation to a New South Wales police officer and the former partner of Baird. We later found out that his name is Beau Lamarre-Condon.
And by Friday, that name was everywhere. It was in all the headlines. Mm-hmm. What happened after that?
Yeah, so on Friday, Lamarre-Condon handed himself into police in Bondi. Within hours, the 28-year-old police officer had been charged with 2 counts of murder. And just before I go on any further, I do just want to make a note about the language we're going to use from here on out. You're going to hear us say the word alleged a lot, and that's because until a verdict is delivered in a court, it is still an allegation, regardless of the fact that charges have been filed. So at a press conference on Friday, Homicide Squad Commander Danny Doherty said this.
Police also located a projectile at the premises which had been discharged, and also a fired cartridge case. This has now been ballistically matched to a New South Wales Police firearm.
And just quickly, on the note of an off-duty police officer being able to actually access a firearm, New South Wales Police said yesterday that they're speaking to Victoria Police to help them review their systems about how they actually store those firearms.
So it's now been a few days since the police charged Lamarre-Condon. Mm-hmm. What have they learnt about what allegedly has happened?
So yesterday, police held a press conference where they revealed all of these new details about what they now know or what they now believe to have happened. So police confirmed that last Monday, gunshots were heard at about 9:50 a.m. from the Paddington address. And just a reminder, that's where Baird lived. Police have also now said that 4 minutes after those shots were first heard, there was a 000 call made from Baird's phone, but it disconnected. Police, when they were asked, wouldn't provide any further information on who they actually believe made that call. Police said that on the same day, so last Monday, the accused then hired a white van from Sydney Airport. On Tuesday, they believe Lamarre-Condon allegedly told an acquaintance that he had been involved in the death of 2 individuals. The exact wording from what the police said yesterday was that he allegedly made, quote, partial admissions. Then on Wednesday, police believe he drove to Bungonia. The accused then went back to Sydney that Wednesday night where he bought weights from a department store, and then overnight allegedly went back to the property in Bungonia and then back to Sydney. Now, I know that the geography is a bit confusing, especially if you're not from Sydney, but I think that it just shows the scope of what the investigation is actually looking like at the moment. So police say that on Thursday he drove to Newcastle. Again, if you're not from New South Wales, a bit of context, Newcastle is 2 hours north of Sydney approximately. There, it's alleged that he asked an acquaintance for a hose to clean the van. Then lastly, on Friday morning, he drove from Newcastle back to Sydney, where he then handed himself into police in Bondi.
So the man accused handed himself into police in Bondi, but he isn't cooperating with detectives on where the bodies are.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about that aspect of the investigation.
Yeah, so that's right. The accused has not told police any information about where the bodies are, and police have essentially said that he's refusing to cooperate. In the press conference yesterday, they said it's possible that he returned to the property in Bungonia to retrieve the bodies and to dispose of them somewhere else. But police also said that there are gaps still in their timeline. So they're still basically looking in multiple places. They haven't really narrowed down the scope that much.
All over New South Wales.
Exactly. And police have said that their number one priority at the moment is to try and locate the bodies. And they've said that they're searching hundreds of kilometres north and south of the main crime scene here in Sydney.
So this story is obviously horrific on a singular level, but there are also broader dynamics at play here about the relationship between the police and the gay community, right?
Yeah, I mean, for a number of reasons. Firstly, this coming weekend in Sydney is Mardi Gras, which, of course, is a bright and colourful celebration of the LGBTQIA plus pride that happens every year. It began as a protest in 1978 against discrimination and oppression faced by the community at a time when sex between men was illegal and you could legally be sacked if you were discovered to be gay or trans. Anti-discrimination laws were still years away. The first Mardi Gras march down Oxford Street was met with violent arrests by police, who also assaulted protesters while they were detained in their cells. Police have marched in the Mardi Gras parade since 1998. Now, over the weekend, the Sydney Morning Herald published an editorial, and that just basically means the paper took a uniform position on an issue. And in this editorial, they said police should not march in this year's Mardi Gras. When asked about it, here's what New South Wales Police Commissioner Karen Webb responded.
We have been participating in Mardi Gras for the last 20 years and haven't missed a year. And I would hate to see that this is the year that we are excluded because of the actions of one person.
Then, late last night, the Sydney Gay and Lesbian Mardi Gras Board actually released a statement that said that it had taken the decision to request that the police do not march in the 2024 parade. And then aside from Mardi Gras, there's also this fact that just a few months ago, an inquiry into LGBTIQ hate crimes in New South Wales delivered its final report. It made 19 recommendations for the police force about how to correct a history of bias against these communities. Over the weekend, the same police commissioner, Karen Webb, apologised to the families of the gay hate victims, and she said that New South Wales Police would, quote, use these lessons to continue to improve. So there are, as you say, these fraught dynamics that are playing out at the same time as this criminal investigation.
A really disturbing and complex story there, Zara. Thank you for joining us on the Daily Oz today. We'll be back again tomorrow morning. Until then, have a good day.